Hello, I'm Dr. Vi Porter, PhD and specialist in nutritional health consulting, and we're here speaking with Dr. Ruben, an expert in alternative medicine, who I have the pleasure and honor of interviewing, and we'll be discussing 21st century cellular resonant nutrition. Some of you may have heard our first of many more to come interviews on YouTube with Dr. Ruben. If not, it's called Dr. Vi Speaks to Dr. Ruben about 21st century cellular resonant nutrition technology, where he gives a very passionate and detailed description of technology, and he explains why doctors and healthcare providers should consider Zyto Wellness and Decision software in their homes and in their businesses. And we like to jump right in because we have so much to cover. But if we go too fast or you need more information, feel free to contact either one of us, and we will provide our contact information at the end of the broadcast. So, Dr. Ruben, thanks again for taking your time out of your busy schedule to speak with us this evening. How are you today?
Thank you, Dr. Porter. I just want to give you a little background about myself. I'm Dr. Ruben Rafael, PharmD. So I'm actually a doctor of pharmacy, and I specialize in alternative medicine and helping people not need medication. So that's my passion.
That is wonderful, too. That is absolutely wonderful. More people should operate like that, but often we miss the boat there. So, I want to thank you again for being here. You're making a very big difference in sharing this information, and I look forward to speaking with you more. Today's subject, I'd like for the listeners to know some about the terminology we use to make it easier to understand the full concept of cell resonant nutrition. So my first question, which is long, because I know you'll have the entire response from my interview questions before I get a chance to ask. Would you please explain, in the order as you see fit, all these terms and what all these terms and phrases mean, such as plasma energy field, the body of light, ideal cellular resonance, the quantum energetic biofield, quantum energetics and biophotons, premier quality effect, premier quality nutrients, for polarity biofield testing, and what do we mean when we say that something tests off or on?
Sure. So that's a pretty long question, but it can really be summed up in a simple answer, which is the body and all living things are in addition to the physical chemical structure of, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, all the periodic table elements that we know exist in the chemical bonds that we learn in school, besides all those great things, there is a wonderful intelligence of how the body and how all living things actually come together in an organized fashion. Because as we know, in the universe, the most stable way that atoms exist are in chaos. There's no such order in the universe. Mm-hmm. And what brings about this order is this quantum field. To give you an example, if Newton's law of gravity is true and all things that go up must come down, then how is it that trees can grow hundreds of feet in the air? They actually defy the law of gravity. So there is a superior intelligence, and the quantum field is what allows to organize all of these physical substances and make an organized effect. So that's what it means with the quantum field. It's this energy around the physical body that helps to organize and utilize most efficiently the physical substances. So in regards to health, what we're looking at is not just the synthetic nutrients, because, theoretically speaking, we can can live off synthetic nutrients if that's all our body needed. But that's actually not true, not correct. You know, I guarantee everyone listening today has a favorite food that their mom used to make. And no matter where you try this food, even the same exact ingredients, nothing will taste like your mom cooking it. It's because there's a certain energetic component that is given off in the creation of this meal, depending on the individual and depending on the intention of which they're cooking this meal as. So that's just to give someone an example of what type of an effect is this quantum field, this energetic field that is really we're not able to see and touch and experience the same way with physical substances. So for some people it's a little bit hard to grasp, but we all know that it does exist. So tell me if there's anything I need to elaborate further on, Dr.
I think that's an excellent. I think that pretty much covered it, and that's an excellent answer.
So one thing I just remembered that you asked about what is our testing and how it's on or off, what does it mean, and the quantum fusion effect. Well, it's very simple also. So when we're looking at a food, a nutrient, a food is supposed to nourish us, supposed to give us life-giving force to help us grow and repair. So there's a reason why the bottles in the health food store and in the pharmacy are called food supplements, because we cannot live off of supplements. Supplements are not food unless we're getting into food-based nutrition. Because synthetic chemicals, even though they fulfill the physical necessity of the nutrients in our body utilization, the energetic component that is available through living foods, getting from living foods, is not there. So, in actuality, a food has a lot more potential of nourishing our bodies than the nutrients on their own in synthetic fashion. This can be very clearly shown through energetic testing, where we're actually tapping into the quantum fields around the individual, utilizing the quantum reflex analysis, which is a physical technique that is used by a QRA, or quantum reflex analysis practitioner, to actually assess if a food, besides having the nutrition property, does it also have the energetic qualities of life-promoting, health-promoting qualities that food does, that quality food does, that's very crucial to help organize and sustain life and health.
And so these nutrient supplements, they need to contain a body of light, which is explained by German biophysicists, in order to be able to provide that ideal cellular resonance. Correct?
Yeah. Again, it's hard to grasp for a lot of people because we're Newtonian physics mainstream, and quantum physics is just being intertwined into the curriculum of our schools. So for a lot of people, it's hard to grasp, but just understand that all of the energetic qualities that our universe has and how it's able to function in an organized fashion is through the quantum physics. So that is the superior, I would say, master of the universe is this quantum field.
And including the wonderful plasma energy field, which it's preeminent over all biochemistry.
Yes. Exactly.
Well, I looked over my notes, and as far as questions, you pretty much covered it. One thing, though, the defy your DNA, to make that a little bit clearer for people.
Sure. So defy your DNA is the concept that we came up with that explains what is our intention and what are the possibilities of the bio surveys, which is the energetic testing, electrodermal testing that we utilize to assess stresses and on the body that don't allow us to heal, how we can eliminate the stress to better support the body's healing abilities. So what means the fire DNA is very simple. There is a study of a field of science now being developed called epigenetics, which is the understanding that the genome is just a blueprint of enzymes and proteins to be made. Now, there is something that is very important in determining if the genes are actually expressed, and those cues come from the environment. Epigenetics, which means above the gene. So what that means is that through lifestyle, through the choices we make, the food we drink, the food we eat, and the water that we drink, how we live our life, our thoughts, the people we are surrounded by, all of those things that are actually in our control. Those are epigenetics. They actually control what genes are expressed and what genes are suppressed. So it's very important that people understand that just because they have some predisposition to certain chronic disease, it does not necessarily mean that they will have this disease or they will be limited by this gene expression. It actually can be calmed down or compensated for by the lifestyle choices that we make as individuals. So this Defy DNA is a specific program that we designed to help doctors and practitioners empower their patients so that way they can understand that the health is actually in their hands. They actually can influence and promote healing.
Interesting. Very well put. Very well put. And so the epigenetics, this is it's relatively new, or has it been around for a little while?
It's actually been around, I would say, for the past 20 years.
Okay.
People have been talking about it. There's actually a lot more studies done. There was a study done a few years back by Dr. Bruce Lipton, and Dr. Ornish, where they actually looked at prostate cancer genes, and through meditation, nutrition, they were actually able to show that the prostate genes were actually suppressed in a majority of individuals. And people can look up those two scientists, and they can look at the research further. But just to sum up, they look at how the genes are expressed, the cancer genes are expressed when a person chooses to do certain lifestyle modifications like food and meditation and supplements. And it's actually been proven that gene expression is determined and as an outcome through these lifestyle choices.
So how does this relate to the cellular resonance effect?
Okay, so there is actually limitless healing ability of the cell. And what determines this ability is how much of this life-giving force we're able to provide. All living foods, all living things have this vital energy, this life-giving force. And if we're able to utilize nutrition and foods from quality sources that have an abundance of this life energy, we can actually promote limitless healing of the cells. So that's the kind of nutrition that I choose to work with a practitioner and with my clients, so that way we can get the most benefit from the food that they're eating, from the supplements that they are taking.
And so the within about the last 15 years or so, quantum physicists discovered that the outer membrane structure of every cell in our body is a unique semi-crystalline matrix. And do you want to take it from there? It means, every one of the trillion plus cells in our body has that ideal resonant frequency, much like a crystal glass that rings its own special note when struck.
Exactly. There is actually a frequency of all of these cells that they have, that they communicate with. And that's also how foods and nutrition communicate with our body to promote this healing, is that they are at the same life-giving force, the frequency, as our cells, and our body is able to utilize more efficiently the food, and instead of it actually more disease, we're actually both health and healing at a much quicker pace than without using cellular resonant nutrition.
Very good. And so, is that what you or what we would call the harmonic resonant effect? And what would be the consequences of this stunning discovery of resonant frequencies?
Well, that actually opened the door to the possibility that not all foods, not all supplements, not all therapies are created equal. We're looking beside the actual physical composition of a substance that we're trying to use as therapy. We also have to look at what frequency is it at? Is it at the life-giving frequency, at the resonant frequency, or is it at another frequency that's actually detrimental to our health? So that is the big difference. And we're actually, at that point, we're actually able to, again, use more efficiently our resources, because we all have limited resources. And it takes a lot less supplement or food or medicine that you're using if it's at a cellular resonance, perfect cellular resonance. It actually takes a lot less to create a magnificent and a dramatic effect in the body. And the person feels better, more efficiently, and quicker, so people get quicker results.
Oh, that's great. So that's pretty enormous, and it's a secret that unlocks the hidden door to why some ill people can quickly regain their health and others can't. And does it reveal why the ideal resonant frequency of each cell can only be sustained or regained by consuming nutrients that are also at their ideal resonant frequencies with the harmonic resonant effect?
Yeah, they have to match up. That's how the universe talks to itself, is through these frequencies. And so it's very important. I'll give you an example. I have a beautiful plant at home. I don't remember what it's called, but it always blooms at this time, around Christmas. And that's because at this particular point in time, the energy of the environment is in tune with the bulb, springing with life, with a flower. Now, the flower doesn't have a calendar, doesn't have a smartphone, doesn't able to tell time the way we do. It does it just purely based on the energetic frequencies that are around it. So it knows perfectly exactly at what time of the year to sprout and to grow and to become beautiful flowers. The same way our cells, our organs are able to bloom with health is through this energy, this information we get from our environment, from our food that we consume. It's actually able to express, determine what is expressed in the organ, whether it codes for disease or whether it codes for health.
I see. So the dynamic interaction between the cell and the nutritional products creates a highly beneficial harmonic effect. And does this mean that the cell is able to ingest the frequencies embedded in the nutrient?
Right. Besides just taking up the physical nutrients through a chemical reaction, it's also able to absorb a lot of this energetics and these frequencies that are in tune with it, to create a much more exponentially beneficial effect.
So, in contrast, we fall out of cellular harmony when consuming nutrients that are synthetic or that have been degraded resonant frequencies, and I think that you pretty much just explained how.
Yeah, we also have to consider, besides the nutrients that they put in bottles, are all of the excipients, all the added junk that they put in to put the pills together, to make it look nice. All that also can be very detrimental to the energetic quality of the substance we're trying to use as medicine, as food, as nutrition. So we have to look for not only a product that's good quality ingredients, but also that are devoid of all these unnecessary excipients that actually cause a detrimental effect to the end product.
So if consumed repeatedly, they're going to result in a lowered frequency, which means poor vitality of the cell, correct?
Yep. Yeah, and again, this can be easily visualized by utilizing quantum reflex analysis, which is a typical method that can be used to show through muscle testing whether or not a substance has or contains this life-giving force, or it does not. So it can be very easily actually visualized and tested by using this approach.
Oh, and I think that is phenomenal. And is the irony of this situation that we can end up calling things the seems good but isn't hypotheses?
Can you repeat that?
Yeah, the irony of this situation that we call, do we call this the seems good but isn't hypotheses?
Yes, exactly. So the ultimate test will be using this quantum reflex analysis, this physical muscle testing technique that can be easily reproduced by anyone who learns the technique, to be seen exactly. You can even blindfold the person, and they'll be able to tell you if the product has beneficial life-giving qualities or detrimental qualities.
So yeah, and that's exactly what one of the issues I wanted to talk about, because the German research shows that consuming a synthetic or degraded nutrient can initially stimulate the cell's DNA and produce an enhanced effect, so it seems good.
Yeah.
And after
as a long-term solution, it's not up to par with cellular resonant nutrition. Doesn't even come close.
So it's initially stimulating, but the DNA of the cell then can deteriorate faster.
Exactly.
And so the initiated effects of poor degraded nutrients translate to feeling better, more vitality, etc., and they were actually short-lived and encouraged more rapid aging of the DNA and consequently of the cell.
Yes.
And one of the things that I wanted to talk about too is, or have you talk about, is there was a shocking study as reported in the Journal of the American Nutraceutical Association, winter 1999, that after testing 196 vitamin supplement products taken from health food stores, only 5 were found to be non-toxic and effective. And that means that 97.5 were toxic, ineffective, or both. And do you happen to know what are the odds today of finding the 2.5% that are non-toxic and effective? And what products are you using and why?
Sure. So there is a little bit higher percentage of good quality products available on the market right now, because people are becoming aware with the power of the internet how important it is to have food-based, organic, unadulterated, clean, and cellular-resident nutrition. So thanks to the power of the internet, I'm able to see a little bit, I would say, up to 5% effective nutrition that's available on the market, which is still doesn't come close to what we want it to be, the 100%, but there is an increase. And the company, the product line that I feel most comfortable with, that my own research, is Premier Research Labs. They're actually the world leader in cellular-resident nutrition, and they always test positive and very effective for all my patients.
And their manufacturing processes, their the testing that they do using photoilluminescence equipment, and also making sure that everything is tested to the 4 polarity biofield. I don't know if we answered that one either.
Okay, let's go over that. So there are actually 4 polarities, similar to what we know as with directions, north, south, east, west. There are 4 polarities in the bioenergetic field that can be compared to what we understand to be north, south, east, west. So this 4 energetic polarity is a way that that the quality of this biofield. Many things are on for 2 polarities and also 2, or on 3 and also 1. And for a product to be considered good quality and the utmost promoting of this bioenergetic field, it has to test on all 4 polarities. And through quantum reflex analysis, by studying that, you will learn more details on how to actually test for these 4 polarities, plus minus, plus minus. So you actually know how to test and you can see for yourself what it means actually for testing 4 polarities. But very important that the substance that we're utilizing for healing test on all 4 polarities, so that way it will provide the most positive healing potential.
And it's also going to detect this body of light that emanates from healthy cells, that's not visible to the eye, but it's easily quantified by highly sophisticated German optical equipment. And that radiant field or body of light around a molecule distinguishes living from non-living, which is something that you hit on just a few minutes ago. And I think you kind of covered this too, but my question is, how can you explain, so that we can understand, the difference between natural and synthetic? I know you went over it a little bit, but
Yep. So natural means once living, because once living substances carry the body of life with it. Where something is created in a petri dish or in a laboratory, it's not natural and it's synthetic and it does not have that life-giving force.
mm-hmm.
So that is the difference in that a synthetic substance is void of this resonant energetic versus something that is natural, something that is once living. That substance carries with it the life-giving force that's extremely important to promote limitless healing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So where the PRL is using, excuse me, did I cut you off?
No, that's it.
Okay, well the Premier Research Laboratories nutritional products, they're exquisitely well grown, and they enable the cell to function at its optimal frequency versus a synthetic product that probably contains a whole lot of non-nutritive items, and then we're able to test, like you said, the 4-polarity biofield testing. And so why aren't more people using these products?
Well, that's a very simple answer. It's lack of knowledge, lack of understanding.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the reasons why we're putting this interview together, is to share the information with practitioners and the general public, with patients, that there are options and there are better options when choosing supplements and therapies that will promote quicker and more efficient healing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And slowly, with the power of the internet and advocacy and promotion that we're doing as a network, it will be recognized and utilized by mainstream fairly soon, because the results are there. The proof is there. The science is there. Now we just have to be able to share more with people so that we can be actually used.
I agree. And earlier you were talking about the excipients, and
Yep.
A lot of people don't realize that a lot of the items they're reading on the backs of these cans and packages are just that. They're excipients. The magnesium
Yep.
stearates, aren't they a cheap lubricating agent that research shows to be immune compressing?
Yes, exactly. So what all these excipients do is they make it more cost effective for the companies that manufacture these supplements or medications or foods or whatever substance is being produced. They make it cheaper for them to produce larger quantities of it to increase their profits at the sacrifice of your health.
Yes.
And your quality of life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you look at things like talcum powder. It's rarely, I don't know if ever, written on the labels, and that to me should be a crime.
Yep.
Because we need to know what's in there. You have people who are chemically sensitive, not just allergic, but these types of things could really damage your health. And if you don't even know that you're consuming MSG, or if you're taking tablets, they're full of glues, and other toxins, and just all these different things that we have that just have the potential for just destroy, and they destroy our health little by little. I've heard some people say, oh well, a little bit's not gonna hurt. Well, yes it does, because you kind of mentioned earlier, like your favorite mom's favorite cooking. You know, you're always going to want that. And with the foods that come out today, mom's favorite foods are going to, more than likely, unless you change over to all organic, contain some of these very things that we don't need to be taking. But anyway, I digress. With PRL, would you like to talk about any specific products, maybe that are favorites of yours, or some examples?
I can spend a whole hour talking about the magnificent products.
I know.
Doing this one product, so I think we should leave all the details for another session.
Okay, great. You know, I think that we covered quite a bit today. Is there any more that you want to share again?
Just I wanted to recap and reiterate the main point is that we have to, as practitioners, understand that the power of healing, the power of health, doesn't lie in chemistry. It lies in quantum nutrition, in quantum physics. That's the secret.
Mm-hmm.
And by utilizing this quantum cellular nutrition and this quantum reflex analysis and quality superior foods and medicines and supplements that we are want to advocate and to educate everyone on, that is the only way that a person can truly heal most effectively and most efficiently.
Excellent. And one of the things that we're going to be doing is continuing these talks to help people understand, especially doctors and other healthcare professionals. You know, we even have that special added feature of being able to test remotely, where the individual on the balance scans can be assisted, or you know, they can run their test assisted with our assistance or without. And that's, you know, I just see so many benefits to this. And you know, like you said, it really is the only way to truly heal.
Yeah, and the magic of what we're doing is that, and what we're educating on is that, as a practitioner, you're not limited to helping the people around you.
Right.
If you're a true person that is a healthcare practitioner, you want to heal the whole world.
Mm-hmm.
And through the technology of quantum reflex analysis and zyro testing and genetic testing, we're actually able to test globally,
Mm-hmm.
internationally. So you, as a practitioner, as a practice, are now a global practice through the power of this form of testing and the quality nutrients that we have. So it just opens a world of possibilities.
Yes. And I'd say that's a new paradigm in itself. You know, helping out, you know, with today's healthcare industry being in jeopardy the way that it is, you know, the insurance and whatnot, it helps people to take control of their own health and to, you know, to be more proactive, which is very much needed. You know, not just solely relying on the practitioner or the doctor.
Yeah.
So.
Again, there's so many segues that we can go in different directions with this topic.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to thank you, Dr. Vi Porter, for having me on this call today. And I know we will be joining again very soon.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much more to discuss and to share.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to leave everyone off on this note to help them make it easy to digest all this material, because I know it can be overwhelming, especially first time hearing it for the first time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I want to thank you, Dr. Porter. If anyone has any specific questions for myself, they can reach me at my office at 516. Let me give you my direct line. 516-203-7442. 213-7442. The name of my practice is Pure and Simple Health, and I can reach the email at drrubeen at pure, the letter N, simplehealth.com. That's drrubeen at pure, the letter N, simplehealth.com. And of course, you'd like to visit me online. On my website is drrubeen online.com. That's drrubenonline.com.
Excellent, excellent. And I just like to say that you are very prompt at returning calls and messages right away, and very, very thorough. And I thank you for the information that you shared with us today as well as last time. Very informative. Yes, it's a lot to take in. We're going to put this up on YouTube, so anybody who wants to, listen to it can go there anytime and hear it. Also, go there and listen to our first interview. Dr. Weiss speaks to Dr. Ruben about 21st century cellular resonant nutrition technology. Well, that's a mouthful, isn't it? And go there, check us out, and if you have any questions, Dr. Ruben just gave you his information. Contact him with your questions, and you won't be disappointed at all with your answers. They'll be very, very thorough. And we look forward to speaking with you again, Dr. Ruben. Thanks for taking your time out of your busy day to be with us. And on that note, I'm going to say good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.